Last 5 seconds. Ready? Start. May I strike a certain personal note and then go on to other considerations? We, my generation in India, have been conditioned in particular ways by events. There is the background of 2000 years or more. There is the conditioning we have had during the 150 or 200 years of British rule, and then there is the big conditioning during the last 30 or 35 years of what is called the Gandhian movement. We are the resultants of these various conditioning factors. If you want to understand us, you have to understand these conditioning factors. That is so about me and my government in India. That applies to the world at large also. We have to understand other people's basic conditioning factors, their past history, traditions, habits, conflicting, etc., and more particularly the recent history of the last half a century or so. Countries like India and China have millennia of history. It is not an easy matter for me, whatever new knowledge I may gather, to get out of the 2000 years of Indian history. So also with other countries, yet in order to understand another country, it is no good looking at it through the spectacles of our own country. If an Indian presumes with his Indian background to judge England or Germany or Russia, he will probably not be objective enough. Now the China, leaving our past history, it has been conditioned for more than 40 years, ever since the end of the Manchu dynasty, by continuous trouble. That was China's experience. Take the background of the present rulers of China. It is a background of struggle for the last 25 years. I remember, and some of you may also recall, the long march in China. Quite apart from its merits, that long march was a terrific feat. It meant being hunted, being harassed, with many people collapsing and some surviving. They often found a habitat in the mountains and in the caves and lived there for a number of years, organizing themselves. Then came the Japanese invasion. They fought the Japanese invasion. They That turned into a world war later. Imagine that what a powerful determining influence these factors must have had on the people who took part in a march of 8,000 miles. And whatever the system of government, which is a great relief after two generations of disorder, the second is their feeling of nationalism. They feel that their great country, which has been kicked and tossed about for generations, has become unified and strong and can stand up on its own feet and look to any other country in the face. Look at it from the Chinese point of view. I am not for the moment considering communism or anti communism. I tell you, a Chinese living in Singapore, Laos, or elsewhere, even if he is completely anti communism, is still proud of China's condition today. He has his nationalist pride that his state, his country is strong and unified. This is the background of China today. Of course, it did not require my going to China to know all this, but if you keep it in mind, you will understand something of what is happening in China. You and I know very well that in China today, they have got a certain political structure and a certain economic structure. The rulers of China are communists. There is no doubt about that. They have evolved a political and economic system which is partly based on their Marxist ideas and partly adapted to conditions in China. We all know that it is not full blooded communism there. It has adapted to their conditions. So now, if you ask me, is there freedom of the press there? Well, with all respect, I shall say that question is rather unnecessary. The whole structure of government there is of a type which is completely different from parliamentary democracy. Whether you can call it democracy or not is another matter. They call it people's democracy. That is an argument which we need not go into. My point is that it is different. We know it. What result it yields, you can partly see now, and ultimately the future will show. It is the future that will show whether the results achieved by the methods they pursue will be worthwhile or not, or have been worth the price paid for them. Each people, and especially these big chunks of humanity like India and China, with long records, as soon as they find freedom to function according to their wishes, are influenced by various external forces, industrial revolution, technological advancement, political ideas, and so on. But if we are worth our salt, we have to stand on our own feet and function in accordance with our own thinking and conditioning of minds. I shall have little respect for India if it followed blindly the American pattern or the Russian pattern or the Chinese or the British. Then it would not be India but a pale imitation of somebody else. Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I welcome and support this piece of legislation, and I think this piece of legislation has come up before this House in time, and also I have to congratulate the Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance. Sir, sometime back we were discussing about the facilities to be afforded to the members of parliament and they have to be encouraged to function properly in this house. I feel now that this is a very important piece of legislation. I also agree with many of the points which have been included in this bill, but some members have not availed of the facility of going through this bill, and that may be one of the reasons why they are not taking that much of interest or unable to take that much of interest in this legislation. To me, this piece of legislation comes in the way of the black money in this country. The Customs Tariff Act of 1934, as amended subsequently, and now in the name of Customs Tariff Bill, is nothing but a protection that is being given to the indigenous industries and indigenous products that are produced in this country. But at the same time, this is going to stop the smugglers curtailing the black money and putting an end to this black bank as explained. Sir, the honorable member has also said that though we say so many things about these smugglers and the control of the anti-social elements who are bringing in smuggled goods into this country, the question is how far the action taken by the government will prove efficient. Sir, during the earlier period, this bill should be given importance and topmost priority. Now we have read in the newspapers that a number of smugglers were arrested and who were solely responsible for bringing in smuggled goods into this country. The bill puts a heavy tariff so that these things are not imported into this country and indigenous production of these items may be encouraged. Once you stop the smugglers operation, we expected that these articles will not be sold in public, but we are not setting the correct example. I would request the Honorable Finance Minister to see that the possession of foreign articles should be questioned. If they are not able to give proper account, high tariff duty should be levied on them. When you are thinking of this bill, I think you are not only protecting the economy but you are modeling the economy in the fashion that our Prime Minister has desired. The Prime Minister has said that we will have an economy where the gap between the rich and the poor will be narrowed. These people have what may be called a black bank. Whatever measures you may bring in, they have a loophole, and through that loophole they bring money in this country. The law is that money can be sent from abroad through Reserve Bank only, but these black bank people have a separate system. They send the money through some agency and they go on doing their business without any hindrance. This is due to the fact that the officials of the custom department are not properly implementing the legislation that is already in vogue in this country. From my experience, I can say that the tax administration is not enough to contain this disease, and we have a poor set of people at the top of affairs to check, control, or take proper action in this regard. Whenever people come from other countries, they bring in some articles from other countries, but these customs officials harass only those people who are very poor for simple reason that they demand certain things from them. The smugglers, who are the real black bank people, go outside every 3 or 6 months and bring a lot of goods from outside, and these people bribe the custom people. If you enter into these officials houses, you will find a number of foreign made articles there. Stop.